Have you ever tried to put together something without instructions? Or maybe the instructions just had pictures that were drawn and they weren't really even detailed. You just had to follow from one picture to the next picture. It's somewhat difficult. And then you end up having this item that you've put together and you have extra parts when there weren't any extra parts included in the packaging. That's a bit scary. I'm not quite sure I'd want to necessarily sit on the chair that you built if that's the case. That's kind of what it's like when you try and walk through the Christian life without actually reading scripture. When you hear all these commentators and you may even listen to great theologians speak the word, but you don't actually get in and read it yourself. It's kind of like seeing a book of instructions just in pictures. In the book of Joshua, God tells Joshua to be strong and to be courageous and to follow in the ways of Moses because God spoke to Moses. But Moses also wrote down the law. Moses wrote down what God had told him to do. So when God commissioned Joshua to lead the Israelites into the promised land, God told Joshua, be strong and of good courage. And then he also said in Joshua chapter 1, verse 7, he said again, this is the third time he's reminded Joshua to be strong and of good courage. Verse 7 says, only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. So did you catch that? It takes strength and courage to follow every bit of the law that God has called us to follow. God gave us a book of instructions to read. And then he said, be strong and of very good courage. Be courageous to follow God's law. Be courageous so that we may prosper in the land that God has given us. There are promises laid up in the book of the law. Promises that come with abiding in the book of the law. Promises that come with being strong and courageous as we read and as we walk step by step in the way that God has commanded us to walk. So be blessed today as you continue to be strong and of very good courage.